My sister is obsessed with chasing celebrities and even wants to steal a star's ID card to get married. She came to me, who works at the Civil Affairs Bureau, since marriage doesn't require a household registration booklet anymore. Once I steal the ID card, just help me. And the film Emperor stamped the approval. My parents disagreed and asked me to persuade my sister not to do anything foolish. Under my persuasion, she regained her composure and got married to her blind date. 3 years later, the movie star's female fan proudly posted their marriage certificate. The ID card was stolen, but the person wasn't. They held a grand wedding, envied by all. My sister accused me of ruining her plans, and my parents also blamed me for meddling. While I was asleep, my sister suffocated me with a pillow, and my parents helped dispose of the body that same night. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the moment when she asked me to help her get a fake ID. You can get married without a household registration book. Does that mean I can steal my idol's ID to get married? The current policies are really good. Getting married is easy. If I don't seize the opportunity, it would be a waste. Don't you think so, Mom? Her younger sister lay on the sofa, wearing a pajama set identical to the movie star's. Hearing the news that a household registration booklet was no longer needed for marriage, she was overjoyed. Her mother, however, disagreed, but couldn't bear to say anything harsh that might hurt her precious daughter's feelings. Turning to look at me, July, what do you think? Hearing the familiar voice, I suddenly snapped awake. The feeling of being unable to breathe seemed to linger from just a moment ago. In my previous life, my sister was obsessed with chasing stars. When she heard that getting married didn't require a household registration booklet, she secretly came to me. She wanted to steal her idol's ID card and have me help her get a marriage certificate. That way, she could effortlessly rise to the top. My parents firmly disagreed and asked me to talk some sense into my sister. I advised my sister to calm down, saying that not only would such an action have no legal effect, but she would also be mercilessly criticized by Sue Suaning's fans. Fortunately, she took my advice. After graduation, she registered her marriage with the person she met through a blind date. She began living a life free from worries about food and clothing. However, 3 years later, when the film Emperor got married, a female fan publicly declared her love for him. The ID card is stolen, but the person is not. The two of them held a grand wedding that left others envious. My sister watched the whole thing through a live stream and cried her heart out. My parents also grieved over losing a golden son-in-law and turned around to blame me for meddling. I'm caught in the middle, despised by both sides. At night, my sister put sleeping pills in my milk and smothered me with a pillow. My parents not only didn't blame her but also comforted her, saying it was retribution for my ruining a good marriage. Reborn, she can go ahead and steal an ID to get married if she wants. I will never be the sucker again. So I gave my mother a calm smile. Mom, my sister is really thoughtful, knowing how to find you a good son-in-law. My mother glared at me fiercely, then turned to persuade my sister. This isn't a good idea. Who knows what kind of dirt celebrities have behind the scenes? It's better to find someone we know well. Her younger sister immediately became unhappy and threw a pillow directly at their mother's head. How many of the people you know are handsome and rich? You're not even happy when I find you a good son-in-law. I think you just don't want to see me happy. Then she stormed back to her room, fuming. When the others left, my mother sighed at me. I'm getting old. My words don't carry weight anymore. You're her older sister. Why don't you go and persuade her again? If even a birth mother can't make a difference, what can an older sister do? It's always the same. She comes up with the ideas, and I'm the one who ends up making enemies. It's a shame I won't be fooled again. So I patted her on the shoulder. Mom, my sister is smart and sensible. She definitely knows her limits, so you can rest assured. My mother hesitated, wanting to say something but holding back, and could only awkwardly fall silent. I decided to act immediately, and the next day, my sister began planning to steal the ID card. Coincidentally, 2 weeks later, Sue Indy, the renowned actor, had a movie roadshow in our city. It was said that he himself would be present. My sister planned to disguise herself as a staff member to search through the actor's bag backstage. I admire this full-of-holes plan and the whimsical mind behind it. Who said ID cards must be kept in a bag, and who said a movie star has to carry a bag to an event? But none of this is my concern. I kept my mouth shut the whole time. In the evening, after her parents returned, she told them her plan and then reached out her hand for money. Give me 10,000. For bribing the security. Her father was still sober and deeply distressed. Stealing is a crime that lands you in jail, and even if you manage to steal your ID back, the movie star won't agree to marry you. My younger sister impatiently said, just tell me, are you giving it or not? My mother then shifted the blame. Ask your sister for it. I don't have any money. I was washing dishes in the kitchen and deliberately shouted, "Mom, I transferred last month's salary to your card. When will you give me my allowance?" My mom could only sigh and transfer 10,000 to my sister on the day of the movie roadshow. I went to work early at noon. I suddenly received a call from Shinbayue. "Sis, save me quickly." I was taken aback and asked directly, "Did they catch you?" "No, Su Suaning didn't even show up. But since I'm already here, I can't leave empty-handed, so I thought I'd take a look around. I didn't expect their safe to have its own alarm system. They've blocked the door and called the police. What do I do now? What a casual, take a look around. Got your eye on their safe." I suppressed the urge to curse and hung up the phone directly. Then I found my mom's phone number. "Hey, Mom, my sister won the lottery at the No. 1 cinema downtown. You should go check it out right away." As soon as the lottery win was mentioned, my flamboyant mother immediately dragged her mahjong partners along. Less than an hour later, a video call came through from the other side. Upon answering, a cacophony of noise erupted from the other end. In the video, Shen Baiyue was seen wrestling with the agent of the film star. "You dare hit me. Once Ningning marries me, you'll be the first to get fired. I'm hitting you exactly because of that. Hand over the sponsored jewelry now." Mother looked extremely anxious. "Chiyue, come quickly and talk some sense into them. They're threatening to sue your sister for breaking and entering." I quickly brushed it off. "Mom, where would I find the time? Unless you want me to give up this government job, you decide." Then I hung up the phone. In the evening, my mom and Shinbayue, bruised and battered, returned dejectedly. They remained silent. For the next 2 months, my mother quit playing mahjong, while my sister turned into a hardcore hater of Su Suaning. I thought my sister would stop. Unexpectedly, she read a few stalker novels and insisted on pretending to be a stalker to follow Su Suaning. "Sis, you don't understand. Playing hard to get is a strategy. Men only learn to cherish what they've lost. Once I give him the cold shoulder for 10 days or half a month, he'll be so consumed by fear that he won't be able to help falling for me. I don't get it. Has the world gone this crazy? Who in their right mind would like a stalker?" But what came out of my mouth was, "Sister, no wonder it's you. You really understand men." So, my sister hurriedly bought a black outfit and followed the movie star. During the day, she climbed trees to watch him film, and at night, she followed his car and inhaled the exhaust. Through her unrelenting efforts, the movie star finally called the police. However, at the police station, the sister insisted that she was just passing by. "The road is so wide, why can he walk there but I can't? I just love the smell of his car exhaust." "What's the big deal? Which law prohibits smelling car exhaust?" Don't let his unhappy face fool you. He's probably thrilled inside. If he didn't love me, why would he report me? You're just a part of our play. I was left speechless. The film emperor massaged his forehead and sighed. In the end, he chose to drop the lawsuit. I won't argue with a lunatic, but is the mental hospital really that lax in its security? Why did they let someone like that out? Before leaving, he whispered to me, "Please keep an eye on your sister. She's in the late stages already." I didn't know how to respond, so I just gave an awkward smile. After picking up my sister from the police station, she kept pressing me for answers. "What exactly did Ningning say to you? Tell me quickly. I want to engrave his words on my heart." I was originally going to relay it truthfully, but upon hearing this, I immediately changed my approach. "He said he hopes I can firmly watch over you, guard you, protect you, and confine you in his place. You are poisoned by love, and it's terminal. He cannot set you free." That's 44 characters in total, including punctuation. I'll write it down for you later. Since we're getting tattoos, is it too much to expand from 20 characters to 44 characters? My sister listened, completely enchanted, lost in her one-sided love and unable to extricate herself. After I gave her the note, she went out that very night to find a tattoo shop. After this battle, my sister became more resilient and courageous with each setback, even feeling that she had established a unique connection with her idol, the plaintiff and the defendant, a rare advancement indeed. So she went back to her novel to study a new strategy. After a night, she came out with dark circles under her eyes and asked me, "Sis, have you ever heard the story of best friends marrying and divorcing together?" I shook my head frantically, but my sister's eyes lit up. "It's about you marrying the assistant, me marrying the movie star, and then both of us running away together after getting divorced." I was greatly shocked and utterly confused. "Why run away together? Aren't you always dreaming of marrying the movie star?" My sister looked at me with an expression that clearly said I was a country bumpkin. "You don't get it. This is romance. If we have a child, it can be a father-son pursuit of the wife's crematorium. it's so fragrant. What kind of fun is it to raise the divorce rate, however? After being roasted in the crematorium, any meat smells delicious. That's a fact. Upon hearing this, I decisively shook my head. I don't like any assistance. If you want to pursue it, go ahead, but don't drag me into it. However, my sister was not having it. Do you know how much this affects my lifelong happiness? Why won't you help me achieve my dream? I retorted. Isn't it supposed to be best friends marrying together? You and I aren't best friends. My sister thought about it and felt it was right. You, a woman who doesn't understand charm, aren't even fit to be an assistant. Don't ruin my good plans. Then she started texting her best friend on her phone, and the two began plotting how to make the film emperor chase his wife into a crematorium. A month later, the two best friends hadn't even gotten close to the film emperor. Instead, my mother's savings began to drop sharply. After losing another $1,500, my mother couldn't help but question me. I told you to put your salary into my account to prevent you from spending recklessly, but you just pretend to obey while secretly defying me. You have 1 day to return the $50,000 you spent from the card. Did you hear me? In my previous life, I also believed that my parents were saving money for my own good, so I dutifully handed over my monthly salary. But in my last life, when my sister graduated from university and got married through an arranged meeting, my parents gave all my 100,000 yuan to her. They claimed that since I didn't have a boyfriend at the time, the money was of no use to me. If she hadn't mentioned it, I would have almost forgotten that this family still owed me 100,000. No, I need to find a way to get it back. What card? When did I ever spend money? Mother roared. Only you know the password to my bank card. Stop pretending, I sneered. The password to your bank card is my sister's birthday. How could I be the only one who knows it? Mother froze, quickly looking at her sister. The other person was transferring money in the app, sending 3 to 4,000 at a time. When caught by Mom, she immediately hid her phone. What are you looking at? Don't you know how to respect privacy? August, who are you chatting with? Why are you borrowing so much money? Her mother spoke softly, afraid of upsetting her younger sister. August proudly declared, it's not borrowing, it's wedding preparation funds. Wedding? Who's getting married? Mom was startled. Of course, it's me. Bayus solemnly announced, on the 8th day of next month. Ningning and I will be getting married. Remember to come. My mother and I were completely stunned on the spot, unable to hold back. My mother asked, is this one of those paper doll weddings that you fans organize? Bayus scoffed disdainfully. Who cares about those self-deceptive ceremonies? The wedding I'm talking about is the real wedding ceremony. Don't believe me? Look, these are my chat records with Ningning. My mother and I leaned in to take a look. Apart from the profile picture being Su Suaning herself, I couldn't see any connection between the chat partner and the movie star. Yet, my sister believed it. My mother wasn't a fan of celebrities, but she wasn't stupid either. She immediately realized she had been scammed and quickly reported it to the police. The next day, my sister lost 68,000 yuan and the chance to attend the wedding of the movie star. How I wish this were real. Money doesn't matter. This was my dream wedding. Meanwhile, my mother was wailing at the police station. I wish this were fake. Whether there's a wedding or not doesn't matter. Money is my lifeblood. I almost burst out laughing and secretly told my grandmother the news. If my mother favors my sister, it's due to bias. My grandmother, on the other hand, is equally biased towards favoring boys. As soon as we got home, my grandma started scolding us. How many times have I told you, money is only reassuring when you can see and touch it. Now look, you've been scammed. Are you happy now, wasteful women? Starting today, withdraw the remaining 132,000 from the card and turn it into cash. I'll hide it away. That's the safest way. My mom disagreed and wanted my dad to say a few good words, but my father has always been cowardly, best at hiding his head like a turtle, not daring to utter a single word. In the end, my mother had no choice but to reluctantly hand over the authority of managing the household. That night, through the home surveillance, I saw my grandmother hiding cash under a potted plant. A sneaky figure approached the flower pot. After he had taken a few, I decided to wait and see. My dad was almost scared out of his wits. While I reached out, seeing is sharing, reluctantly, he handed a few over to me. Shoo, don't let your mom and grandma know. From that day on, we went to the living room to admire the flowers more often than we went to the bathroom. I thought the lesson of 60,000 yuan would keep my sister quiet for a few days. Little did I expect that her obsession with marrying the film emperor was incredibly deep. After trying all possible methods, she still found stealing an ID card to be the simplest solution. After all, a marriage certificate only costs 9 yuan, making it a low-cost, quick-effect option. The only challenge was how to steal the Shadow Emperor's ID card. During breakfast, she gave me the only fried egg in the house. "Sis, have this, it's good for you. Nothing given for free comes without a price." I pushed the fried egg aside. "I don't want it." At home, we always bought eggs by the crate, but breakfast was always only 2 portions, one for my dad, one for my sister. When it came to me, the leftovers from last night couldn't be wasted. Shenbayue was in a hurry. "Eat it. If you eat it, you'll owe me a favor. You have to eat it." I slammed my chopsticks on the table. "Spit it out." Shenbayue immediately laid out her plan. "Stealing an ID card is just too difficult, but I can get a fake one. You must know where to get a fake ID. Once I have it, will you stamp the marriage certificate for me and Ningning?" Absurd, I thought to myself. How absurd. I couldn't help but curse out loud. I'm not in the underworld, and forging fake documents. You must be dreaming. Unless Su Suining personally registers the marriage with you, don't even think about me stamping anything. After making my stance clear, I angrily got up and went to work. There's no stopping some people from having wild fantasies. I can only try my best to find ways to avoid it. In recent days, I've been taking the initiative to work overtime, making my sister miss me every time. I thought it would make her back off, but I never expected my sister to actually get a copy of the movie star's ID card, both front and back. "Mom, look, I'm about to marry my idol." Then she grabbed my hand and cooed, "Sis, my dear sis, once I get Ningning's ID sorted, will you help me get the marriage certificate with him?" I pulled my hand back and refused. "I won't do anything illegal." Shenbayue immediately turned hostile, shouting angrily, "The world isn't just black and white." Auntie bought a school district house, and the school place was taken by a random child for no reason. Do you dare to say it was an accident? There are so many unfinished buildings out there. Why aren't they illegal? I worked hard for love and got married to the person I love the most to boost the marriage rate. What's wrong with that? The mistake is yours. People like you, who lack awareness and cause trouble for the country, are the real scum of society. That makes so much sense. I actually can't argue with that. So it's true. People really do laugh when they're speechless. Shenbayue, everything must be done within the bounds of the law, legally and compliantly. Do you think using a fake certificate can boost the marriage rate and contribute to society? If you really want to give back to society, go out and get a job early, pay your taxes early. Shenbayue's chest heaved violently, and she wanted to strike me, but I pushed her away. "Get lost, don't disturb the rest." Since she already had copies of Su Suining's ID, she was determined to go through with the fake marriage certificate. The next morning, Shenbayue blocked the bathroom door again, one last time. "Are you going to help me or not?" I shook my head. "Absolutely not." At breakfast, my breakfast was dumped into the trash by her. Mom and Dad pretended not to see and continued eating. Shenbayue was smug. "From now on, without my permission, you won't get a single bite to eat in this house." I ignored her and went straight out to work. The same day, I was reported. They accused me of deliberately delaying the divorce procedure, refusing to process the divorce, and the couple getting divorced happened to be relatives of my sister's classmate. The incident was posted online, and the already angry netizens lashed out without distinguishing right from wrong. Oh. Let me see who is the most beautiful matchmaker who did something stupid. If anything happens to the woman during the divorce cooling off period, it is definitely the fault of this irresponsible employee. Why not let people get divorced? Do you have to push the woman to death before you realize you'll regret it? The online discussions are growing louder and louder, but what could I do? At the Civil Affairs Bureau back then, the husband absolutely refused to divorce, and the wife was easily swayed into forgiving him. Then the man would make another mistake, the woman would come back to file for divorce again, and the man would continue to kneel and beg, creating a vicious cycle. They went back and forth so many times, treating the Civil Affairs Bureau like a mediation room. How can I issue a divorce certificate to the two of them? Seeing the situation escalate, the unit leader kindly gave me leave, allowing me to go home to rest for a few days before returning to work. That evening when I got home, the instigator was sitting on the sofa, showing off the brand new ID card to me. Ding ding ding. See, without your help, I still managed to get Ningning's ID card. I slapped her hard across the face, sending her ID flying. Without bothering to fight back, Shenbayue covered her face, knelt on the ground, and scrambled to pick up the documents. "Are you crazy?" Seeing this, my parents stopped watching TV. One came up to pull me away, while the other raised a hand to hit me. I decided to go all out, starting to throw things around like a madman: potted plants, fruit trays, porcelain cups, chairs, TV, I smash whatever I see. If I don't go crazy, you don't treat me like a human, right? The more I smash, the smoother my breast ducts become. In a daze, I seem to hear my mother's howl. It must be an illusion. I keep smashing. When I saw my dad's fishing rod and my mom's hulusi shattered into pieces, I finally regained my senses. A heavy breath of turbid air in my heart was completely released. Looking down, I saw my mother clinging to my leg and crying, while my father was hiding under the table in fear. My sister stood there in a daze, not daring to make a sound. I walked over and gave her 2 more slaps. You love causing trouble and posting on Weibo, don't you? Keep posting. If I lose my job, you're dead. Shinbayue wanted to fight back but felt guilty. What trouble? You made a mistake at work, and you don't allow others to complain. Besides, if you had helped me with the fake documents, I wouldn't have bothered you. I laughed in anger. You're ugly, but you sure think beautifully. No matter how many times you ask, I won't help you forge documents. My parents knew what my sister did, but they still kept defending her. Your sister was just impulsive. Besides, you weren't fired, so why are you getting angry? Exactly. If you had helped your sister earlier, this mess wouldn't have happened. I didn't want to talk to these people, so I packed my things and used the excuse to move out of the house anyway. I had already found a rental place. It's a good thing to be able to stay away. Just as I was pulling my suitcase out the door, Shinbayue grabbed onto it tightly again. No, you can't leave yet. I've already got your ID, and you haven't stamped our marriage certificate yet. I kicked back. Dream on. Shinbayue chased after me, her face filled with venom. If you don't agree, I'll keep spilling the beans until the unit fires you. If this job can't help me, you can forget about keeping it. I let out a cold laugh and stepped directly into the elevator. Fine by me, let's just see Mom and Dad starve. When my parents heard, they immediately panicked and dragged my sister out to apologize to me. However, I had already hidden in the stairwell on the 15th floor, quickly returning home as soon as my parents left. Turn off the surveillance, flip over the flower pot, replace the 100,000 yuan at the bottom of the flower pot with practice banknotes. I absolutely refused to let my salary benefit these people. After finishing all that, I didn't even dare to take the elevator. I carried my suitcase and rushed down 20 floors in one go. Retrieving what rightfully belongs to me made the night feel especially warm. In the neighborhood, my parents were anxiously searching, but I had already taken a taxi and left. The next day, Shinbayue really didn't let me off. He continued to spread various messages online, saying things like the woman was depressed and wanted to jump off a building, the husband has been committing domestic violence, but I'm just stuck and won't grant the divorce. She even called to threaten. Why must we sisters come to such a point? If you help me get a marriage certificate with the film emperor, I'll help you clarify things online. Wouldn't that make everyone happy? Sure, then I'll also spread the word online about you forging documents. Let's just destroy each other. The other end fell silent and hung up directly. A week later, the organization sorted out the whole story and issued a public notice online, and provided a medical examination for the woman to prove she was unharmed. Indicated that if the woman did not wish to continue forgiving, she could actively seek a divorce through a lawyer. As soon as the news broke, Shinbayue's account was directly banned. He never appeared in front of me again. However, half a month later, she suddenly came to my workplace, bringing 2 bright red marriage certificates. Ha 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 ha. Heavens, earth, did you see that? I finally married my idol. In front of everyone, I saw Shin August kneeling down, holding up the red certificates. Hi, his face was filled with the satisfaction of having achieved his wish. I was so scared that I immediately snatched the document to check it carefully, afraid it might be genuine. Fortunately, the moment I held it in my hand, I knew it was a fake. The paper quality was off, and the embossed seal was also misplaced. It was obvious at a glance that it wasn't issued by the Civil Affairs Bureau. Give it back. Shinbayue quickly snatched the fake certificate back. Who allowed you to look at it? If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have had to spend an extra 2,000 yuan. I ignored her ranting and asked directly, didn't Mom and Dad try to talk you out of it? Shinbayue was smug. Persuade. It was Mom who helped me get the stamp. I never expected my mother to actually help her. Truly a family affair. With the marriage certificate in hand, my sister even changed her WeChat profile picture to a wedding photo, still spreading the news of the movie Emperor's marriage on Weibo. The movie Emperor's fans naturally didn't believe it and helped debunk the rumor. My sister directly posted the marriage certificate to confront the fans, with key information blurred out. If you have to blame someone, blame your ugly faces. Ningning like someone as beautiful as me. Being married is a fact, legally recognized. See that? Pictures don't lie. Warning to female celebrities in the industry. Stay away from my Ningning. He's a married man now. Fans directly accused her of photoshopping the image and used a magnifying glass to point out that the embossed seal on the marriage certificate was in the wrong position. Logically speaking, anyone with a sound mind wouldn't believe it. However, the entertainment industry is like a big pot of stew, and there are always people who want to stir up the muddy waters. Immediately, paparazzi caught wind of the news and went to my sister to verify it. They even offered 300,000 yuan to buy specific information about the marriage certificate to assert her status as the rightful wife. My sister quickly agreed. After receiving the money, she called to boast to me, "Look at you, stuck with a fixed salary after graduation, and after 5 years, you haven't saved 300,000, have you? Unlike me, just by being the wife of a movie emperor, I can make money even while lying down in the future." I gave her a thumbs up. "All right then. The heavy responsibility of supporting the family will be on you from now on. By the way, since I'm handing over all my salary, shouldn't you be giving yours to our parents too?" Shen Baiyue refused. "Why should I? Only a fool would hand it over. My money, my decision. No one is taking a single cent from me." After hanging up the phone, I opened Weibo. The hashtag Su Suining secret marriage hashtag had already topped the trending searches. Fans were scrambling to defend and clarify, while the party involved was busy taking down the trending topics. I find it strange. Logically speaking, shouldn't this kind of thing be quite easy to clarify, especially since both the ID card and marriage certificate are fake? But soon, another paparazzi came forward, claiming to have captured the scene of the movie star secretly meeting a fan late at night. This was like throwing a bomb into boiling water. The fans who were originally controlling the comments all rushed to leave messages under the studio's Weibo post. They urged Su Suining to quickly deny the rumors. However, the studio remained silent as if it were dead, showing no signs of activity. By Monday, there were very few people coming to register for marriage. I took advantage of my break to open Weibo, and the news about hashtag Su Suining's secret marriage hashtag had gone viral. It was trending like crazy. I quickly clicked on it, and the paparazzi had released a video. In the dark, both figures were exceptionally blurry, walking hand in hand under the streetlight. The girl was wearing an orange-yellow jacket, which looked very much like the one my sister has. The more I looked, the more amazed I became. Could it be that Shen Baiyue and Su Suining really got together? She must have some tricks up her sleeve. Perhaps the fake marriage certificate will soon be replaced with a real one. At the end of the video, the paparazzi showed the marriage certificate, completely revealing the names of my sister and the movie star. Countless fans began to cry, and the movie star started losing followers. Indeed, the congratulatory messages in novels about the male and female leads in the entertainment industry being together are just the author's fantasies. In reality, people just curse and then switch to another idol to continue chasing. Immediately, a phone call popped up, and it was from Shen Baiyue. After answering, she was both crying and laughing, as excited as if she had won a big prize. "I told you, he can't escape my grasp. Once the marriage certificate is issued, no matter if he's a film emperor or a top star, he'll have to accept reality. You must regret it now, losing a film emperor brother-in-law. Well, if you obediently kowtow 3 times to apologize, I'll forgive you. Besides, Ning Ning loves me, so what if I forced him to get married? He loves me to death." I asked irritably, "How do you tell that he loves you?" Shen Baiyue spoke with confidence. He didn't object. "Isn't that love? Men are just coy. You wouldn't understand. It's all about the charm." I really didn't understand, so I hung up the phone. At night, Su Suining even more boldly opened a live stream. She directly confronted her fans head on, riding the wave of her secret marriage. The number of viewers in her live stream easily surpassed 1 million. There were even many people giving tips, and it was estimated that she earned several $100,000 in one session. Shen Baiyue instantly became a celebrity in the entertainment industry, with many web dramas starting to send her scripts. After a night of glory, the next day, Su Suining's studio finally came back to life. He first posted a statement saying he didn't know Shen Baiyue, then went to the police to report Shen Baiyue for infringing on his reputation and personal privacy. Most importantly, Su Suining admitted that he was indeed married, but the wife is not Shen August, but a childhood sweetheart who grew up together in a match of equal status. This news is not much consolation for fans, no different from Thor's hammer. The only thing that made it a bit easier was that the movie emperor didn't put up a stubborn front. He admitted it readily. The most unbearable one was Shen Baiyue. She completely lost it. "My parents called me, begging me to come back and persuade her not to be so stubborn. I was waiting to see the fun, so after work, I went straight home. After opening the door, the sight that greeted me was a complete mess. The home I had already smashed up had been wrecked once again by Shinbayue. My parents were busy tidying up, while Shinbayue sat on the sofa, deleting Su Suaning's photos one by one. Why, I loved her so much. Why, I casually tossed the fruit from the sofa into the fruit bowl. Because he has a girlfriend from a suitable family background. That's not love, there's no excitement, it must be an arranged marriage. Yes, that must be it. His parents must have forced him to marry a woman he doesn't love. I sat on the sofa, and upon hearing this, I burst out laughing. Forcing me to marry a woman who graduated from an Ivy League school, is beautiful and generous, and comes with a fortune of billions. If it were me, I'd be over the moon. You should read less romance novels. In reality, it's just a powerful alliance between families. Shinbayue shook her head frantically. I don't believe it, it's impossible. Ding, 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 the doorbell rang, and Dad exclaimed in surprise, who could it be at this late hour? Pretending not to know, I got up to answer the door. Sis, come quick, your movie star is here. When Su Suaning appeared at home, Shinbayue was so excited she jumped 3 feet high. Ningning, you're here. Su Suaning looked at me with a headache. Why haven't you sent her to the mental hospital yet? I shrugged. Mom and Dad won't let us. Seeing my parents, Su Suaning's face turned completely cold. Originally, I intended to let it go, considering she's a civilian who hasn't worked since graduating from college, but today, I simply can't take it anymore. I came here to tell you, just wait for the court summons, and you, Shinbayue, right? I've got my eye on you, you just wait to go to jail. As soon as these words were spoken, Shinbayue collapsed to the ground, powerless. My parents were also anxious. My mother even pulled out her usual act of crying, making a scene, and threatening to hang herself. How was I supposed to know that a fake certificate could cause such a big problem? We were just messing around. We didn't cheat anyone out of money. That money was given willingly by others. It has nothing to do with my family. August, you're a celebrity, and you're a man. You're not at a disadvantage here. Why make it go to court and make things so ugly? Su Suaning took a deep breath. Auntie, when it comes to acting, you're no match for me. There has to be a limit to this nonsense. No one will keep paying for your daughter's mistakes. My father simply knelt down, but Su Suaning wasn't having any of it. Shinbayue refused to give up. You're an idol. That means you're public property. How dare you get married? How dare you marry without our fans' permission? Su Suaning was provoked. Because I love her. We grew up together. Our parents are familiar with each other, and our family backgrounds are similar. I earn money just to marry her. Shinbayue threw an apple at him. Nonsense. If you want to get married, don't do this job. Su Suaning dodged to the side, then left without looking back. A week later, Shinbayue indeed received a court summons. In court, she denied forging the official seal and boldly declared, "There's a 60-day cooling-off period for divorce. Why declare the marriage invalid? I won't get a divorce. I'll drag it out until he's worn out." However, the judge didn't care about this and sentenced her directly on the charge of forging a public seal. When the 3-year sentence was announced, Shinbayue was so frightened that she fainted on the spot, woke up crying. I'm not wrong. What's wrong with wanting to get married? It's Su Suaning who's wrong. Why did he keep his ID card so tightly? Otherwise, I wouldn't have had to go through so much trouble to fake it. Sob, sob, sob. I don't want to go to jail, Mom and Dad. I don't want to go to jail. To rescue their sister, Mom and Dad believed the scammer's lies. I took out all the family's savings, just hoping to save my sister. However, the scammer took the money and ran, and my dad got so worked up that he had a stroke and collapsed. My mom started running back and forth between the prison and the hospital. A year later, I went to visit the prison. Shinbayue's face was terrifyingly dark, his eyes bulging as if they might pop out through the glass. Why didn't you try to stop me this time? If you hadn't let me go, I could have married Zhou Yang and lived a happy, peaceful life. Zhou Yang, Shin August's husband from his previous life, now he is already married to his arranged marriage partner. I pulled a sarcastic smile at the corners of my mouth. Weren't you always looking down on Zhou Yang, regretting not stealing the Shadow Emperor's ID to get married? I helped you fulfill your wish, so why blame me? Shinbayue said in agony. That woman claimed to be a fan. I thought she was really Su Suaning's fan and went to steal his ID card. Who knew she was a wealthy heiress? I couldn't help but laugh until tears came to my eyes. You actually believed the persona she put on? Is a man's ID card that easy to steal? Shinbayue, you really are as brainless as ever. yet she never reflects on herself and continues to make excuses. Su Suining was the one flirting with fans on stage first. I just did what fans have always wanted to do. What's wrong with that? Besides, getting married without a household registration booklet is like first come, first served. Isn't that how it works? The more she spoke, the more spirited she became, and in the end, she pointed at me to shift the blame. The mistake was that you didn't help me steal the ID card. If I had really gotten it, I wouldn't have had to fake it and go to jail. I clapped through the glass. Very good. Keep it up, leaving the detention center amidst Shen August's cries. In the hospital, my dad could only move his eyeballs. My mom, under the guise of bringing food, had already gone to dance in the square with the caregiver from the next bed. While eating, I showed my dad my mom's latest post on WeChat Moments. Now she's completely transformed, sporting the most fashionable woolly perm. My current pleasure is updating my dad on my mother's latest developments every day. You have no idea, Uncle Lou has already moved into our house, and your wardrobe has been cleared out for Uncle Lou's clothes. Dad, don't worry, after you're gone, Mom will take good care of herself too. My dad's eyes went crooked and his mouth twisted, and he fainted from anger on the spot. That evening, my mother came to see me and told me she wanted a divorce. That deadbeat husband of mine never gave me a comfortable life after we got married. Now he just lies in bed and expects me to take care of him for the rest of his life. Why should I? Where can I go to seek justice? Old Lou is different. His house is full of children and grandchildren. It'll be lively when I go there. I don't care. Fine, go ahead and file for divorce yourself. My mother was stunned. I have to do it. Just give me the stamp, and I'll put it on. Isn't that enough? I admire her casual attitude toward the law. Are you missing my sister and want to go in to keep her company? Mentioning my sister, my mother no longer had the pride and arrogance she once had. Ever since she was scammed out of 300,000 while trying to bail her sister out, she's held that debt against her sister. Pa, don't say such unlucky things. Not only won't you help, but you're also making sarcastic remarks. I can see now, in this family, you're the most heartless. I don't deny it. After all, genuine feelings never end well. After a year of turmoil, my mother finally got divorced, but she had to pay for a caregiver to look after my father. She found the cheapest one, costing $800 a month. I went to the hospital a few times, and the caregiver treated my father like a punching bag, slapping him around for fun. He was also reported by other patients, but the outcome remained unchanged because my mother refused to spend money on better options. After getting married, my mother completely turned into the Liu family's nanny. Every day, she had to pick up and drop off the children, prepare 3 meals a day, and take them to extracurricular classes. If you don't take good care of them, you'll get a beating. By chance, she learned from my grandmother where the 100,000 yuan was hidden. She immediately went home to get the money, ready to run away, but all she found was a pile of practice banknotes. The Liu family members who were following her were even more anxious than my mother when they discovered the money was missing. Another beating ensued. If it weren't for the fact that the Liu family still needed a maid, they would have almost beaten my mother into a cripple like my father. I turned off the surveillance footage, never again wanting to recall how my parents had helped bury the body in my previous life. After Su Suining's secret marriage was exposed, she began deliberately reducing her workload and gradually shifted to behind-the-scenes work. Now semi-retired from the industry, the entertainment circle sees rapid turnover, and soon new stars take their place. When Shen Baiyue was released from prison, there were no more Su Suining posters on the streets and alleys, yet she remained immersed in her identity as the wife of a film emperor, and was sent to a mental hospital. Nowadays, my work is getting busier and busier. Fewer people are getting married, while those seeking divorce are lining up in long queues. The survival of a marriage never relies on one party forcing it. A certificate cannot confine a free woman, whether it's getting married or divorced. It's all for the sake of a better self. When stamping each divorce certificate, I sincerely wish them a brighter future ahead. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. In 1973, Song Yangji came to my house to propose marriage. It was a joyous occasion, but I voluntarily gave the opportunity to my stepsister. Some say I'm aloof, and if it weren't for Song Yangji being severely injured, with my family's background, he would never have sought a marriage alliance with us. But only I know that this was a way to avoid a disaster. In my previous life, after I married Song Yangji, my health deteriorated day by day, and in the end, I became paralyzed for no apparent reason. Song Yangji, by some unknown method, transferred all the pain and illness onto me. Finally, to save my stepsister, I fell from the 10th floor, my brains splattered out, yet I somehow didn't die. Meanwhile, at home, I died for no reason with my brains exploding. Song Yangji recovered as if nothing had happened after my death. He remarried my stepsister, and my mysterious death was dismissed with a casual remark about my lack of fortune. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day Song Yangji came to my home to propose marriage. Why, brother Yangji, he was supposed to marry me. The betrothal letter never specified who he was marrying. How can you be so sure it wasn't me he intended to marry? In my previous life, when Fan Ronghua found out that Song Yangji had come to propose to me, she threw a similar tantrum, loudly accusing my family of being capitalists. If it weren't for my father later marrying into her family, I would have been sent to the countryside for re-education. I won't marry. The whole family was instantly stunned, their eyes turning toward me. I think Ronghua makes sense. I usually have no contact with Song Yangji, whereas she attended night school at the military base for a few days. Maybe it's Ronghua that Commander Song wants to marry. In my past life, given my family background, being noticed by Commander Song, who had a physical disability, should have been considered a stroke of luck. After I married him, it was as if I had been cursed. My health deteriorated day by day. On top of that, my legs grew weaker with each passing day. While Song Yangji was able to stand up again, it was only then that I realized Song Yangji's injuries were gradually transferring to me. I wanted to confront Song Yangji and demand an explanation, but he turned the tables and questioned me instead. The one who saved me back then was your sister, Fan Ronghua. How dare you, to become an officer's wife? You actually stole your sister's place. Do you know that your sister is threatening suicide because of this? I was completely confused, unable to even utter a word in my defense. He locked me in the room and cut off my food and water. It was on this very day that Song Yangji, in an attempt to save my sister, fell from the 10th floor. His brains were spilled out, yet he miraculously survived. Meanwhile, I died suddenly inside the room, the cause of death being a brain explosion. Since I've been given a second chance at life, I will never marry Song Yangji. Yet unexpectedly, in this life, Song Yangji took the initiative to come to my door, and his first words were to ask for Fan Ronghua's hand in marriage. Ronghua's face flushed with excitement, and he too was visibly stirred. As the two exchanged meaningful glances, father loudly objected, "Absolutely not. How can the younger sister marry before the elder sister?" I thought father was looking out for me, but the next sentence chilled my heart. "Commander Song, my daughter Xia Yoshin is diligent and hardworking. At her age, she's unlikely to marry, and she hasn't found a job either. Why not let her work as a nanny at your place? It would be convenient for her to take care of Ronghua and you, and it's always easier to rely on family." My father-in-law, as soon as my maternal family fell, he immediately married someone new. In my past life, I didn't even have a simple coffin. How could he possibly consider me in this life? Dad, I won't go. Xia Yoshin, with your background, no unit will take you. Taking care of Commander Song counts as having a job, and you can stay in the city. Do you really want to go to the countryside? I sneered. What's wrong with going to the countryside? There's nothing shameful about it. I've already applied, and I'll be leaving next month. Everyone present was taken by surprise. You see, I had returned from studying abroad just 6 months ago. Having grown up as the daughter of a capitalist family, I had never even held a broom at home, let alone gone to the countryside. When I announced that my destination was the far-off northwest, thousands of miles away, everyone was even more shocked. My mind is made up, little sister. I wish you and Commander Song happiness. Fan Ronghua's eyes flickered with emotion, and Song Yangji also spoke up. It's a good thing you have the heart to build the nation. If you need anything, just tell me directly. Sister, I misunderstood you before. From now on, you are my own sister. She took off the red string from her wrist and put it on mine, which made father and my stepmother praise our sisterly bond. Father and my stepmother eagerly invited Song Yangji to stay for dinner at the dinner table. They were eager to get this done today. Ronghua, her face flushed, poured tea for Commander Song. Her hands were unsteady, and the scalding tea spilled all over Commander Song's hand. Song Yangji's hand instantly turned red and swollen. I'm sorry, Ronghua hurriedly apologized, but Song Yangji just smiled, his right hand seemingly devoid of any sense of pain. I stared intently at the two of them. In this lifetime, I wanted to see clearly how his pain was transferred, but just then, my right hand felt as if it had been plunged into a pot of boiling oil, the pain so intense that I cried out, "Xia Yoshin." The sudden searing heat nearly brought tears to my eyes, and my body instinctively leaned to the right, just in time to be steadied by Song Yangji. What's going on? Why am I the one in pain again? I quickly stepped back, putting distance between myself and Song Yangji. Sister, I was splashing. Yangji, why are you crying out? Brother Yangji said he would marry me. You're pretending to be hurt and acting crazy, even throwing yourself at Yangji. How shameless. I quickly waved my arms, hoping the cool air would drive away the intense heat. Stop arguing, you must have splashed Xia just now. That was boiling water at 100 degrees. Yes, your sister surely didn't mean it either, she just happened to be sitting in that spot, right next to Yangji. It was a subconscious reaction, an unintentional act. Father and stepmother tried to smooth things over. They certainly didn't want the marriage to fall through just like that. Song Yangji also lost his appetite for the meal, with a strange look in his eyes. He exchanged a few words with father before leaving. Sis, is this fun? Who would believe such words coming from you? Daughter, if you truly regret it, tell your father, I can find you a reliable husband, not as good as Commander Song, but enough to keep you well fed and clothed. Looking at my scumbag father's earnest expression, I could only smile bitterly. In my previous life, he was so eager to marry me off, all because he wanted to seize the Xia family's assets. After my mother passed away, she left behind a lot of inheritance hidden in the house. Once I was married, he turned the house upside down searching for it, but in this life, I will never let him succeed. Early the next morning, I went to the educated youth office. Along the way, Fan Ronghua followed me, and she only left after seeing me enter the office door. Feeling reassured, when the educated youth office staff saw it was me, they introduced me to another person, Zhang Yechu, my former classmate who studied abroad. He seemed to vanish into thin air after returning to the country. Zhang Yechu looked at my file and asked me again, it's a special time now, and you're a special talent. Are you really considering joining us? You'll have to live under an assumed name from now on, and you might never be able to return. I nodded without hesitation. In my previous life, because I was a student who had studied abroad, an organization approached me and asked if I was willing to join the Northwest Plan. However, at that time, I was bewitched by Song Yangji and ended up choosing to get married in a daze. In this life, I must stay far away from them. Great, from today onward, you are a special talent. All information will be kept confidential until departure. If you have any questions, come directly to me. Just as I leaned over to sign, a piercing pain started from my lower limbs, and I was in so much agony that I fell straight from the chair. This familiar pain was exactly the same as when I married into the Song family in my previous life. My head spun, and I fainted on the spot. When I woke up again, I was already lying in the hospital, with Zhang Yechu by my side. He looked tense. Comrade Xia Yoshin, we fully understand your eagerness to join, but if you have any underlying health issues, the organization will have to reject your application. After hesitating for a moment, I decided to tell Zhang Yechu about my experiences from my past life. After speaking, Zhang Yechu's expression remained unchanged. Yechu, don't you believe me? Well, just treat this as a joke. I believe you. Zhang Yechu suddenly spoke up. My heart warmed. Actually, whether he believed me or not wasn't important. Those two words alone were a great encouragement. You said he can influence you, then can you influence him? I shuddered all over. How had I not thought of that? Since deciding to marry Fan Ronghua, Song Yangji had become a frequent visitor to my home. Tonight, as expected, it's at my place again. At the dinner table, I stared intently at Song Yangji's face. It was all because I had just casually had my wisdom tooth extracted at the hospital. Now that the anesthesia had just worn off, the right side of my face was already in unbearable pain, and I wondered if he would be affected, but he looked calm, even chatting happily with my father. What's going on? Could it be that my pain can't be transferred? Just as I was wondering, Fan Ronghua actually sent someone to move the sandalwood chest left by my mother from my room. This is my mother's belongings. What right do you have to take them away? Dad, Fan Ronghua coquettishly pleaded with Dad. Xia, if your sister goes to the big house empty-handed, she'll be laughed at. Why don't you give these to your sister first to help her save face? You're going to the countryside anyway, and you can't take these things with you. We're all family. What's the harm in sharing? Dad, how are we family? She's my stepsister. We're not related by blood. Why should she touch my mother's belongings? To put it bluntly, this house was left to me by my mother. They're just staying here as guests. Dad wanted to argue, but my words, not related by blood, left him speechless. Fan Ronghua looks even more like our father than I do, and she's only half a year younger than me. father remarried just 3 months after mother passed away, so it's hard for me not to doubt Fan Ronghua's true identity. During the argument, the box accidentally fell on Song Yangji's leg. He remained expressionless, but I was in so much pain that I had to bend my knee. At that moment, Fan Ronghua panicked and pushed me down the stairs. I felt as if my internal organs were about to be jolted out. Bearing the pain, I watched Song Yangji's reaction. He was sitting in a wheelchair at that moment, looking at me with a calm expression. Damn it, this effect is actually one way. Downstairs, the cheerful laughter of the family filled the air. Today's meal was essentially Fan Ronghua's wedding feast. Meanwhile, I lay in the bedroom, the sense of physical and mental exhaustion overwhelming the pain in my body. Just as I was pondering how to break the deadlock, my stomach churned violently. I vomited directly, bile mixed with traces of blood, sweating all over. I clearly hadn't eaten anything, so why was I vomiting? At that very moment, the laughter and chatter downstairs grew louder. Regimental Commander Song, you sure can hold your liquor, that's already 3 Jin. He just drank another Jin of Huangjiu. Regimental Commander Song really knows how to drink. It's nothing, as long as the wine keeps flowing, I won't stop. It's Song Yangji again. No, if he keeps drinking like this, I'll die. I staggered downstairs, trembling and almost growling. Song Yangji, what on earth have you done to me? Why do you drink, and I vomit blood? At that moment, everyone looked at me. Song Yangji looked completely innocent. What does my drinking have to do with you vomiting? Fan Ronghua stood between the two of us. Sis, can't you stand to see me happy? I just took one of your old boxes, and you have to be so disgusting about it. You were the one who refused to marry him back then, so why are you trying to go back on it now? Let me tell you, it's useless. Yangji has already submitted the marriage application. You've missed your chance. Xia Yoxin, stop making a scene. If you're not feeling well, go to the hospital. Don't slander Captain Song. Father, without even bothering to find out the truth, took his side and shooed me away, telling me not to ruin their fun. Song Yangji looked at me with a challenging glint in his eyes, picked up his glass, and took another gulp of white liquor. My esophagus and stomach burned with pain. The pain contorted my face. Judging by his mocking expression, it was clearly intentional. With my last ounce of strength, I overturned the dining table. Xia Yoxin, what are you doing? I had no time to speak at all, as another sharp pain shot through my stomach. And this time, I vomited a mouthful of blood all over the floor. I can't stop at all right now. The entire restaurant is covered in vomit. Everyone was completely stunned. I woke up in the dead of night, lying in my own bed. My father and stepmother, fearing I might disrupt the festive atmosphere, had simply tossed me back into my bedroom. Even though I had coughed up blood, a sudden noise came from the next room. It's Song Yangji's voice. Xia Yoxin has already noticed something. I must speed up the process and complete the transfer before she leaves. How on earth did he manage to do that? Just as I was pondering, another voice sent a chill down my spine. Don't worry, even if she notices, it won't matter. It's only a matter of time. She still thinks you're the one transferring the illness. I shuddered all over, my ear pressed tightly against the wall as the two of them chatted and laughed. I finally understood. The one who could truly transfer the illness was not Song Yangji, but Fan Ronghua. Even if she flees to the ends of the earth, the transfer of the illness is only a matter of speed. From their conversation, I extracted a crucial clue. Distance would affect the transfer effect. Go, leave immediately. I dragged my sick body, enduring the pain, and packed my things overnight. When I opened the rosewood chest, there was actually a photo of my mother at the bottom. In the photo, she was holding me, her smiling face bearing a striking resemblance to mine. I was lost in thought. Sis, you're awake. Are you feeling better? Suddenly, Ronghua's voice sounded from outside the room, and I dared not move. The doorknob was turned by someone. She locked the door. Could she have run away? Maybe she's still asleep. Are you sure you heard it right? Forget it. I won't go to your place these next few days. I'll keep an eye on her until the transfer is complete. I heard every word of the conversation outside the door clearly. At this moment, as I look at the photo of my mother in my hand, I finally understand what is going on. So, this is how you transferred it. A few days later, the marriage between Fan Ronghua and Song Yangji had been approved. Sister, the other day, I, as your elder sister, was too abrupt. This new trunk is specially bought for you, and these 2 jade pendants are also for you and Commander Song. As a wedding gift. Fan Ronghua was quite surprised. Father kept praising me for my magnanimity, but only after glancing at me did he notice I was leaning on a crutch. Xia, what happened to you? I waved my hand dismissively. It's nothing. It's just that my right leg suddenly felt weak these past few days. It might get better in a few days. Fan Ronghua and father exchanged a glance, and she suddenly spoke up. Oh, how inconvenient it is to use crutches. Yangji has been getting better these past few days, and the wheelchair is no longer needed. Why not let my sister use it? With that, she pushed me into the wheelchair, and the whole family praised how well it suited me. I had just sat down, and my bottom hadn't even warmed the seat yet. A young soldier rushed recklessly into my house. I'm here to get Colonel Song's wheelchair. Fan Ronghua was displeased and put on the airs of a military wife. How dare you? My husband can already walk. Why would you bring this unlucky thing again? Are you cursing Colonel Song? The soldier broke out in a cold sweat. Regimental Commander Song suddenly couldn't stand up during the assembly. What? Song Yangji was going to share his story with the unit. Today, he deliberately didn't use his crutches, wanting to showcase his resilience, his unyielding spirit, but less than 10 minutes into his speech, he collapsed onto the ground, like a pile of mud, never stood up again. Fan Ronghua urged me to get off the wheelchair and hurriedly pushed it to find Song Yangji. I went with my father and stepmother to the hospital to visit this new brother-in-law. When we arrived, the doctor was issuing a critical condition notice. The patient is in critical condition now. Without surgery, they will be permanently disabled. However, our hospital is currently short on anesthesia. The decision to proceed with the surgery is up to you. Fan Ronghua saw me arrive as if she had spotted a lifeline. Proceed. Do the surgery without anesthesia. Indeed, distance affects the transmission of pain. Now that the painkiller, had arrived, she finally dared to speak up, but the next second, a piercing scream from Song Yangji echoed through the operating room. Something's wrong, the patient has passed out from the pain. Fan Ronghua looked at me in disbelief, while I was leisurely reading a book with a relaxed expression. Xia Yoshin, what did you do? Why are you fine? Fan Ronghua loudly questioned, causing many to turn their heads and look. This is a military hospital, so naturally everyone knows Song Yangji. Sister, you're being strange. It was you who told your husband to have the surgery without anesthesia. Now that your husband is in danger, why are you asking me? I'm not a doctor. I made sense with every word, and Fan Ronghua stammered for a long time, almost revealing the truth. Song Yangji's surgery was like a brush with death. His life is saved. As family members, you must ensure he gets plenty of rest. In the early stages, he will experience incontinence and will need someone to care for him. Who among you will come with me to learn the basics of caregiving? Let Xia Yoshin take care of him. She's the eldest sister, so it should be her responsibility. Just like in my previous life, my younger sister always pushes the dirty and tiring work onto me, taking care of my brother-in-law, even handling his bathroom needs. Is that appropriate for a sister? After hearing about my relationship, the doctor couldn't help but interject. If the patient's wife is present, we recommend the wife. But at that moment, my father spoke up. Xia, you should go and listen too. Don't let your sister get too tired on her own. I was stunned. In my previous life, I took care of Song Yangji because we were husband and wife, but what does it mean for me to take care of him in this life? But my father's next words were, this matter, in any case, has something to do with you. I was speechless for a long moment. The previous speculation was confirmed in my heart. Indeed, my father also knows the secret. Then this stepmother is also involved. So, from beginning to end, I have always been an outsider in this family. Even my marriage in my previous life, and my death in that life, might have been part of their carefully planned scheme. Xia Yoshin, you're here. I've been looking for you for a long time. It was Zhang Yechu, walking over with a file folder in hand. Get ready, we leave in 3 days, northwest. My father was shocked upon hearing this. What, so urgent? Isn't the annual rural inspection period fixed? Why is she the only one in such a hurry? My father wanted to ask more, but I pretended to feel unwell. Seeing my condition, my father's expression brightened with delight, and he pretended to comfort me. Would you like to rest in the ward? No, Dad, I might as well go home. I can pack my things. I pretended to be extremely weak and let Zhang Yechu help me out. As soon as I left the ward, I immediately turned back. Zhang Yechu was also stunned by my actions. Sure enough, as soon as I left, my father hurried to report the good news to Fan Ronghua. Dad, my sister has had a relapse, but Yangji still hasn't woken up. I thought after the illness, the person would be fine. Why hasn't Yangji woken up yet? Maybe after all these years, I've misremembered some things. Anyway, you and Yangji only have a few days left. You need to hurry. Zhang Yechu was also listening at the door, his heart pounding. Xia Yoshin, what on earth is going on? Before my mother died, she hid all her secrets in the hidden compartment of the Wangwali wood. I took out the letters one by one. Zhang Yechu casually flipped through them, his expression gradually shifting from calm to one of utter disbelief. Is this true? Whether it's true or not, my mother was killed in just this way. 30 years ago, my father, Fan Tian, married into the Xia family and had me, but not long after, my father fell seriously ill. At that time, he grew to despise my mother, and the wealth and glory that once belonged to her family became a burden to him. My father's birth mother once taught him a secret technique that could transfer his own illnesses to those around him, making others bear his debts. The medium for this transfer is an item that one frequently wears. I pointed to the red string in my mother's photo and then showed the one on my hand. This is the medium they used for the transfer. The one on my hand was put on by Fan Ronghua, but in reality, it was Song Yangji's personal item. How dare you still wear it? Zhang Yechu reached out to help me take it off. Don't panic, this is a fake made to deceive the Fan family. A fake? Then where is the real one? Song Yangji had just woken up for less than half a minute when Fan Ronghua began writhing in pain on the floor. She could no longer tell whether it was her foot or her stomach that hurt. What's wrong with you? I don't know. Ah, Dad, I'm in so much pain. Oh dear, daughter, is your appendicitis acting up again? Fan Ronghua nodded and shook her head intermittently, while her father anxiously searched everywhere for medical staff to get painkillers. However, painkillers were scarce supplies, prioritized for the military, let alone for ordinary patients. Fan Ronghua underwent all the necessary tests, but nothing conclusive was found. Either it's appendicitis, or it's that matter. There's nothing seriously wrong with your health. The doctor was disgusted with this family and didn't give them a good look. Fan Ronghua had already sensed something strange and voiced her suspicions, but my father quickly dismissed them. This is appendicitis. I saw your sister in so much pain she couldn't stand up and had to be helped away. Stop being so suspicious. Your sister's red bracelet is still on her wrist. If she felt something was wrong, she would have taken it off first. The family, who were supposed to return today, stayed with Fan Ronger in the hospital for 2 more days. During these 2 days, I managed to locate all of my mother's inheritance. The letter not only held secrets from the past but also revealed the location of my mother's inheritance. She had long lost trust in my father, but due to special circumstances and the unique era, some things could only be buried underground. We dug up 2 large boxes in the backyard, and when we opened them, they were filled with antique jewelry. Are you really going to donate them to the country? Zhang Yechu had never seen so many treasures before and was instantly stunned. He asked me again, you're already paying me such a high salary. What would I do with these? I can't spend them, can't move them, and if I leave them here, they'd just end up benefiting them. Zhang Yechu suddenly spoke up. Do you have the deed to this house? Yes, I do. On the night before I was set to leave, the Fan family finally returned. I had planned to leave that very night, but my father insisted on hosting a banquet. My eldest daughter is going to support the Northwest. My second daughter is also married. In the future, the house will be left with just the 2 of us old folks, lonely and miserable. How can we just eat simply? My father, Fan Tian, raised his glass. Dad, what kind of talk is that? If you miss me and Yangji, we can come see you anytime. Fan Ronghua had been hospitalized for 2 days and was physically weak, but at this moment, she also forced a smile and raised her glass. My stepmother and Song Yangye both looked at me, as if waiting for me to raise my glass. I symbolically touched the rim of the cup, barely wetting my lips. Father, I set down the glass. There's something I need to correct with you. I'm afraid you won't be able to live in this house anymore. What do you mean by that? This has always been the ancestral property of the Xia family. After I left, I rented the house out to someone else to run as a guest house. Tomorrow morning, they'll be coming to take over and set up the space. Such a major decision. Why didn't you discuss it with me? I'm your father. This house, I curled the corner of my mouth. Why should a person surnamed Fan meddle in my Xia family's house? Xia Yoshin, you are my daughter. Don't think going to the countryside is some glorious thing. When you get bullied, when you come back home, you'll still have to rely on your father for support. Support? I sneered. When have you ever supported me? By making me a nanny, or a caretaker? My gaze swept over the others. As for whether I'll come back, don't worry, even if I die out there, my bones rot in the desert, I will never set foot through this door again. You ungrateful daughter, heartless wretch. Fan Tian trembled with rage. Just then, an indescribable stench suddenly spread across the dining table. Song Yangji's trouser legs dripped with an unidentified yellow liquid. He had lost control of his bladder. Upon noticing this, Ronghua immediately pushed Song Yangji away. As soon as Song Yangji left, father fixed his gaze intently on me. It seemed as if he was waiting for my body to react. I found it amusing and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Dad, are you waiting for me? Father's pupils contracted sharply. Wait until I'm writhing in pain like Ronghua, or until I disgrace myself in public like Captain Song. Xia Yoshin, what nonsense are you talking about? He slammed the table forcefully to cover up his guilt. The bowls and dishes on the table were all jolted into the air. However, an even more awkward situation occurred. Father's lower body was dripping something. Immediately after, the stepmother beside him also looked strange. Suddenly clamping her legs tightly, an even stronger stench of urine filled the dining room. Suddenly, a sharp cry came from the inner room, belonging to Fan Ronghua. Dad, Mom, me too. Ronghua rushed out of the inner room, just in time to bump into the awkward scene between her father and stepmother. You two are also. Wah, it stinks so much, I can't go on living. Velvet Flower pointed at me and cursed. Dad, I told you, she already found out. What exactly did you do to us? Why is this happening? I stretched lazily. Nothing much. Just letting you share in Captain Song's suffering. After all, it's your daughter who's getting married. As someone with the surname Xia, it's not appropriate for me to meddle in your family affairs. Impossible. You're still wearing the red string. How could it have transferred to us? Oh, you mean this? I leisurely untied the rope and tossed it directly into the fireplace. Hiss. A wisp of blue smoke rose, and the fake red rope instantly turned to ashes. The three of them suddenly froze, and I thought they had finally realized their mistake and were about to bow their heads in apology, but my father suddenly spoke up. Daughter, lift the backlash, and I promise to spare your life. I couldn't help but laugh. What gives you the right to negotiate with me? Father's expression suddenly changed. He picked up a nearby dinner knife and lunged straight at me. As I dodged, I knocked over the wine glass. Father suddenly sneered coldly. Originally, what I had prepared for you today was a farewell drink, to use your life to extend Song Yangji's. But I never expected, you've grown wings, and pecked out my eyes first. Fine, you've got guts. Either help me untie this, or you won't be leaving today either. He grabbed the knife and lunged at me again, while my stepmother and Ronghua surrounded me. They had gone mad, actually planning to take my life right then and there. At that moment, their legs suddenly gave way, and the three of them knelt on the ground without warning. I heard Song Yangji's scream from the inner room, followed by the muffled groans of pain from the three. Seizing the opportunity, I turned around without hesitation and rushed into the bedroom, locking the door behind me. Speak up now, father roared outside the door, pounding on it frantically with his fists. My stepmother and Fan Ronghua kept banging on the door. Xia Yoshin, if you won't let me live in peace, you won't live either. At worst, the three of us will serve Song Yangji properly. We won't die, but you'll die here today. If you don't come out, I'll set the place on fire. As long as you're dead, burned to ashes. Let's see who will still recognize that bullshit lease. That bitch of a mother of yours must have hidden other gold. Once you're dead, I'll have all the time in the world to search slowly. I'll dig 3 feet into the ground to find it. That's right, burn her to death. As long as she's dead, maybe this damn backlash will stop. Xia Yoshin, I'm asking you one last time, speak, or not. He was shouting outside the door, unaware that I had already been taken away by Zhang Yechu through the window. Not long after I escaped, the old house burst into raging flames. Dad, my sister's body is gone. Maybe it was burned to ashes. Never mind, hurry and find something. Dad, are you sure there are any relics? We've already turned this place upside down. Dig harder. 20 years ago, I saw that bitch burying something underground. The house was burned down to an empty shell, and my father, along with several others, dug 3 feet into the ground, determined to unearth something. Zhang Yechu arrived with a pair of public security officers, but my father had already prepared his explanation. He immediately knelt on the ground and burst into tears. My eldest daughter went crazy yesterday for some reason and set the house on fire. Exactly, my sister was jealous that I married Commander Song and wanted to harm me, but she ended up setting herself on fire and burning down the house. Song Yangji, sitting in a wheelchair nearby, nodded in agreement. Zhang Yechu smiled as he spoke to the police officer. I came to see Xia Yoshin yesterday and just happened to see the 3 of them splashing gasoline and setting the house on fire. My father was startled. How dare you slander me? He reached out to strike. Zhang Yechu remained unperturbed. Fan Tian, your job is car maintenance, so it's easy. For you to get gasoline, I heard yesterday that you had someone exchange 3 barrels of gasoline. You're an idle person with no car. What do you need gasoline for? My father was instantly stunned, and he suddenly whispered to Zhang Yechu, Secretary Zhang, there's something in my house. Can we settle this privately? Zhang Yechu raised his voice. You want to settle with me? I have a 20-year lease on this house. You burned my house down. I should be asking you how you're going to compensate me. My father never expected that the person I rented was none other than Zhang Yechu. Meanwhile, Song Yangji, relying on his status as the regiment commander, spoke up, hoping to say a few words in defense of his father-in-law. Zhang Yechu coldly tossed out a letter. The moment Song Yangji opened it, he froze in shock. Fan Ronghua curiously picked it up and read the words on it. Comrade Song Yangji has been assessed as having a disability above the 4th level and is recommended for discharge and reassignment. Song Yangji broke down on the spot. My house is gone, and with Zhang Yechu's witnesses and evidence all gathered, the 3 of us, except for Song Yangji, are going to jail. But Fan Ronghua and her mother both shifted the blame onto my father. They even went so far as to pin my death on him, claiming he harmed his own daughter for money. Fan Ronghua also revealed a major secret. I like Song Yangji, and my father said he had a way to get us together. He tampered with Song Yangji's car. That's why Song Yangji got injured. Later, my father taught me a method to transfer the illness. It was all my father. Upon hearing this, Song Yangji learned that his disability was actually caused by the father and daughter of the Fan family, and his hatred reached its peak. All 3 of them were imprisoned, but Fan Tian was sentenced to 40 years. He was already 55 years old, and 40 years was no different from a death sentence. During those 40 years, he would be transferred the pain and suffering of Song Yangji, making death seem preferable. 2 years later, Fan Ronghua and her stepmother were released. Fan Ronghua thought that Song Yangji's unwavering loyalty during her imprisonment was true love. Unexpectedly, on the very first day of her return, she was beaten by Song Yangji. It was you all along. Back when I had the car accident, I thought you were saving me. I never expected. You were trying to harm me. I will never divorce you. I'm going to haunt you for the rest of my life. Ha ha ha, is the transfer still not undone? I'll just keep hurting myself from now on. You 3 can suffer together. That's right, the pain transfer from Song Yangji's injuries was still affecting all 3 of them. Whenever he had nothing better to do, he would go out and get into a car accident or twist his ankle. After all, his pain will be transferred to these 3 people. As for me, they all think I'm dead. Xia Yoxin is indeed dead. I changed my name to Xia Xincheng. I worked in a secret base in the northwest for a full 20 years. My mother's legacy transformed into a laboratory on the Gobi Desert, where I poured my sweat and silently dedicated myself. Unmarried and childless, each research project became my child, enriching my life and allowing me to find my own value within them. At the age of 50, due to the high-intensity work, the organization granted me early retirement. That same year, I also received a medal of my own. I returned to my hometown, which I had left behind for so long. Zhang Yechu received me and took me back to the site of the old house, where a modern small building had been reconstructed. You rented it to us for 20 years back then, and the lease has long since expired. It's time to return it to you. I took the house key, and the feeling of gratitude in my heart took a long time to settle. Retirement life was peaceful and serene, and I worked part-time as an honorary professor. Occasionally, I would mentor students, but most of the time, I lived in a small building, enjoying a leisurely life under a different name. That day, after attending a meeting with Zhang Yechu, he drove me home. A woman suddenly rushed out and nearly collided with our car. Security quickly removed the woman. Sorry, Secretary Zhang, this is my wife. She's here to bring me some food. The security guard then lifted the woman and slapped her through the glass. I finally saw clearly that the woman being hit was Fan Ronghua. She looked at least 10 years older than she appeared, limping on her feet, with injuries on her face, and that security guard was none other than Song Yangji, who was still full of energy, though he had lost the youthful vigor of his younger years. You're blind, can't you see the leader's car? What if you damage the leader's car? Fan Ronghua trembled with fear. She immediately knelt down. I'm sorry, leader, kowtowing frantically towards the car. If you cause me to lose my job, you and your wretched mother can get out of my house. Zhang Yechu couldn't bear to watch any longer, waved his hand, and drove away. In the rearview mirror, Song Yangji could be seen kicking Fan Ronghua once again. Vulgar words came out in response. What? Curious about how the Fan family is doing now. I shook my head. My surname is Xia Xincheng. The matter between Xia Yoxin and the Fan family ended in that great fire. I have broken free from the past and cast off my shackles. The days that follow belong to Xincheng. How wonderful it is to have a new life earned by my own efforts. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.